Welcome back to my channel. My name is Serene Wilkin, and in today's movement practice using Allegro 2 from Balanced Body, we're focusing on a routine that's specific for beginner golfers. If you're someone like myself who's recently picked up golf, you're realizing all these areas that you might need to connect to and focus on that have to do with your golf swing, that have to do with your precision, or maybe a little more power driven, depending on what you're working on with your coach. So let's go over different ways we can incorporate Pilates to help you guys improve your golf game overall. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. For the first position, let's go ahead and make sure that our bar is up at normal height. I've got a flat headrest. I'm attaching 3 red springs, which is 3 full springs, and a blue, which is a half a spring. And that gives me plenty of grounding with my bed so it won't move on me. Come on down to your back. We're gonna start with a little bit of hip stretching. So external hip, outside of the hip, a little bit of that going on. We do need some of that to begin today's routine. Let's go ahead and make sure that my left foot is anchored onto my bar. My right foot is over my left knee. Now, right here, it probably doesn't feel like too much stretch, but how can we increase it? I'm using my hands on top of my shin to pull down gently towards my navel, towards the center. Okay, so my right leg's being pulled down. It's still in the figure 4 position. Now, my left foot stays active, and I'm going to push a little bit through my left heel into the bar. And my outer right knee pushes forward towards the bar. So you've got effort through your hands, your knee, and effort through your left foot. That helps anchor our low back in this stretch. In other words, you're making it more active than passive. Give yourself 3 deep breaths. Keep that connection of your hands pulling down with your shin, knee pushing out, and heel pushing into the bar. Gently release. Try the other side. Here we go. I want you to pull your shin towards your navel. Push gently into your left knee away from you. And then finally, your right foot gives a little bit of pressure into that bar. Notice how that changes the activity on your low back that's connected to your mat. Hold what you have. Keep breathing here. 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Placing your feet back on the bar. Let's begin with our feet pushing downwards on top on our arches. Now, with the pelvis, a little pelvic tuck to begin into a bridge. I'm rolling like a wave. I'm pressing through the hamstrings, lifting up, squeezing at the glute area, rolling all the way back and down. Nice. And again, breathing out when you lift and lowering back with control. And again. So just trying to get those hips to start to wake up is our first part of our workout. We have some outer glute exercises today. We have some glute max exercises today, which is going to help with your golf, as well as a lot of mobility and breathing for the spine and the rib cage area. Good, let's do one more right here. And all the way up. Beautiful. Now roll down to the bottom, and I want you to focus on effort through the arches again. Arms are long, rolling through that bridge. Now transfer your energy to your right leg, lift your left, transfer it to your left, lift your right, transfer to your ankle, push all the effort through that foot, arch and ankle. You got it. You're pushing up, not losing that hip height. And lift. And lift. Good. And lift. And lift. Almost there. One more each. And up. Very nice. Lower back down. You can pull your knees into your chest. Give a good squeeze, anchoring through your low back. Excellent. Okay, so from this position, what I'm going to be doing is coming up to the side and changing my spring tension. So 1 red spring, 1 full spring. as well as a quarter spring, which is going to be a blue. Your bar can be locked or unlocked. I just want you to make sure that it's in a secure position. We're going to be in a half kneeling first. So I've got that red and blue spring to help me anchor and not move bed too quickly. First position I'm going to be is tucking my hip, connecting my shin to my bar as I lower down right here into a half kneeling lunge. Now, with this position, to help open up this line that's already created on my left side, I'm moving my right arm open to a letter T. So I want you to take a nice big inhale here. Now on your exhale, reach the arm up as you push the bed back and you're hinging. So I'm getting more hamstring stretch. Opening out to letter T, connecting my shin back to the bar. Okay? And then back into that hinge as I reach the arm overhead. And back to the bar. And back overhead. And finally back to the bar. Great. Bring your arm back, switch it out, opposite side. Here we go. Hinging, I'm into my stretch right here. I'm opening out, this time towards my left side. And as I hinge and I lengthen, I reach and back. So think of the rotation required for your golf swing. Your ribs have to move. Your hips have to move. Your mid-spine, your shoulders. A lot of elements here have to be connected. So letting this stretch through the torso transfer to the ribs and the hip flexor. Let's do one more right here. Big reach and gently back. Gently come back and in. And now we're just going to take that same knee, place it onto the bed. Notice both of my toes are tucked under up against my shoulder block. I'm taking my bum to my heels. And now I'm going to focus on more power through my legs. I'm going to lift my tail a couple inches and now push the bed out, pull the bed in. Notice you've got this neutral spine. This is our knee stretches flat back, but I'm getting more of this power through my legs and in. Keep going. And we're just getting some heat through that lower body. Almost there. Keep your arms alive. Core is tight. For 5 and 4, 3 and 2, and finally 1. Come all the way in. Good. You're going to be placing your right foot back on the platform like we did earlier. Now, we're going to be gliding back into that same half kneeling stretch. My back leg pushes back. My shin's still connected to the bar. My free arm with my left arm. This time I'm going to go overhead. So now I'm opening up through the side. So keep your hand in the air. Now with me, take a nice big inhale, expand through the rib cage. Really expand, full exhale. Do that again. Inhale. Full exhale. One more time. Inhale. And full exhale, draw your arm back. Exchange your side. So notice we are working through the lower body and then stretching. So it's a little bit of both, right? We are finding some power, some heat, and then stretching. Here I go for my left foot forward, shin up against the bar. I push the bed back, reach the arm overhead. Again, begin to breathe in. Full exhale. Again, in. Full exhale. One more time. Feels really good. And that can also begin to get really tight in our golf swing, just the side of our body. Okay, now we are back into our kneeling position on the bed. Now I'm going to change my spring. I'm taking off my blue. I'm putting on my yellow. So that's a quarter spring, and I've got my red full spring. Okay, so I have a red and a yellow. My foot position is coming off of my blocks. I'm bringing my feet forward, my knees forward. And then from there, I'm going to be into this kind of crouched position. So notice my foot has changed locations. It's not on my block. It's about a foot forward from that. Knees are bent. Now, power, push, hold that. Notice the plank position. Core is nice and tight. Gently come back and in. Do that again. Exhale. Back in. Exhale. Back in. So we're getting a little bit more heat first in the legs and the core. We've got lots of rotation and glute work to complete. And push. For 5, 4, 3, you got this, 2, and finally 1. Beautiful job. Bend the knees, lower down, take a pause real quick, untuck those toes, release your hands, and we'll move on to the next position. Coming off to the side, I still have a red and a yellow spring. We're focusing on inner thigh stretching with a little bit of rotation within the trunk. So notice if you're playing golf often or you have various lessons back to back, you might be really tight on your inner thigh. It's very possible. So placing your foot right here on my shoulder block, first position, got my left hand on the bed. I'm pushing back and out. So my hips are going to my window as well as I'm reaching out for the inner thigh right here. Here's my hand. Taking a deep breath, gently come back in. We'll go for 2 more. I'll show you the rotation portion. Feels really good across the inner thighs and back in. 1 more time. Good. Now, this hand that's on the bed, we go under grip with that hand. This is excellent for beginner golfers. I'm pushing out, but I'm also providing rotation with the under grip. So give yourself 3 deep breaths, hold what you have right here. Really focusing on what you can open through that low mid back rib cage, which you need for your golf swing. And gently return the bed back and in. Excellent. We're just going to repeat that on the other side. So walking over here, I've got my foot up against my block. Got my hand on the bar, other hand on the bed. Gently pushing out, feeling that nice juicy stretch. Again, hips are pushing back and away. Gently in. Here's 2. And in. And here's 3. Great. Gently come back. Hand goes under the bar. Same thing we did on the other side. I'm pushing out with my bed, but I'm also getting a good pull with my bottom hand. So again, breathing into the side. Take 3 deep breaths. This is amazing for really increasing that range of motion for beginner golfers, for that mid-thoracic spine. 1 more big breath. Slowly make your way back and in. Okay, you guys, that looks really good. So now that we've found some heat in the lower body, we've connected to our core, we've done a little bit of rotation, we're going to put those elements in action here. So let's go ahead and take this spring tension to 1 blue. Remove your red, remove your yellow. The blue is a half a spring. Now please make sure that's good for you guys. You don't want to make it too heavy for this next movement because it can get into your neck area. You want something that feels more fluid. So let's go ahead and come into a tall kneeling here. Okay, so we've got knees, hips, ribs. What I don't want to do is have anything kind of break in the process of the lower body. Taking my rear loop, you can start with the long, make sure that feels good. If you want heavier, go with the small, within. And what I want to do from here is start in a low position. Hips are forward. As I come up, 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 and across, here we go, and back and down. So draw this line from your hip on your left, across, up to your right. Notice your hips want to kind of fall back like this. You want to keep them forward. So squeeze your opposing glute. Right now my left glute has to work to keep my body in that position. So my force is trying to really collapse that part of my body, but no, I'm going to resist it and use that opposing glute. So a little bit of a sneaky glute exercise, hip stability exercise. So you're not quite rotating, you're taking your arms up and across, but I'm still facing forward. Last 2. And last one. Good. So now what we're going to be doing is more rotation. So from this position, I now have this free arm. If you want to go lighter, please take it to a yellow. It's up to you. But I'm going to go single arm on the long loop with my left hand, taking my right arm out to a letter T. Left arm is here. I've got my elbow bent. I'm pushing through my left, twisting towards my right. Notice your hips are forward. Look at the arms. My arm's out and I'm bending back. So this right arm swings open, push through the left. Now you have this loaded rotational exercise. 3 and 4. Notice your hips, a lot of core connection through the front line of your body. We have 5 more. Again, you can do this with a lighter spring. It might be harder to balance, so move slow. Last 3, you got this. Pushing across. Here's 2. And last one right here. Woo. Amazing. So let's take a pause right here. Remember, that is your lower strap behind you. We're going to switch sides. So position your body facing the other way. Remember, you're in the middle of the bed with the knees, grabbing that lower strap right here. Longer version. Hands are interlaced, hips are forward. Straight arms. Take the straight arms up and across. Notice it becomes a glute exercise for your right side. Up and across. You're going slow. You're holding that. 3. Keep going here. 4. Keep the breathing. Hips are organized. There is no rotation. It's taking that effort and force across your body, challenging that whole right glute. Last 2. Last one. Okay, great. So same loop in the same right hand. Left arm is here, out at a letter T. Here comes my left. As I open, I'm swinging it towards the left, and I push, and I come back. So it's that loaded rotation. Push, and come back. Great exercise, very challenging, but very, very relative to the golf swing. Keeping that cross-body connection. Keep going here. We have 4 more. Effort. 3, 2. Long in that spine. Do 1 more together. Here we go. Whew. And slowly come back and in. Excellent. Okay, so from that position, let's do a brief cat-cow. Hands can rest here on the shoulder blocks. Go ahead and round and extend, scooping and extending. Feels so good on the spine. Feels so good on that spine. Very nice. Okay, so let's do a little bit of anti-rotation. We have to do that as well as rotational-based exercises for golf. A little bit of both is great. So hands can live just in line with my shoulder blocks. One hand will be holding a strap in just a moment. But what I want to do is pull my rib cage away from the mat surface. So I'm still in this 4-point position. The bar can stay elevated where it is just for a guide. And now I'm going to be holding on to my right strap by the triangle. And I want to start with my arm right here. If you want to anchor your hand briefly while you draw your opposite leg up, notice the bar is there. It's like a guide for us. We're just opening through that and holding the ribs away from the mat. Okay, now I'm going to let go right here, straight arm. I'm going to pull that straight arm up to my hips and then back. So anti-rotation. Your body wants to fall towards that mat surface. You're moving super slow. You're holding right at the triangle of that strap by the knot. And you're keeping the stacking here. This is a toughie, but this is amazing for golfers. One of the best exercises. It's a bird dog movement, but we're adding that arm. Last 2. Very difficult. I know you can go a lighter spring if you need to. And slowly return. Now you can bend your knee, place it back on the bed, and then take a moment to switch our straps out. Hand again is in line with your shoulder block here. I'm going to go ahead and first grip the triangle, pull the hand. I can anchor the hand back on the bed, and then I'm going to extend my opposite leg, pull my ribs away from the mat, and here we go. Straight arm pulls to the hip. Just like that loaded bird dog, we got this. Exhale 2. Keep going, exhale 3. Keeping your head in line with your spine. 4. Rib cage away from the mat. Here's 5. Keep going, last 3. Smooth and steady. For 2, you're going to feel that glute working as well. Last 1. Slowly back, and then just come on down from there. All right, you guys, wonderful job. Next position, we still have that blue spring on. I'm facing the end of my reformer, the tower. I'm taking my right loop, I'm placing it across my right foot. So I've got my right big loop connected to my foot. If you want to touch down on the ground, it's a little easier to get into. I have my left knee near the middle of the bed. Today I'm going to hold my shoulder blocks, and it's up to you where you want to bring your hands. It could be down low as well. We are going to focus on the power muscle or big glute max muscle. So let's go ahead and keep the leg where it is in front of our body. That's our start position. And you're pushing back, and you're only coming to here versus up high. So it's not about getting the height, guys. It's more about really maxing out where our range of motion is, that borrowing that from our lumbar spine. So I want to go glute max, stop, feel that squeeze, not too high in the leg, and back down. And that's going to help you guys really connect that power muscle and keeping the arms really supporting you in this shape, holding onto the shoulder blocks. Breathing out as you pull up. Remember that little squeeze at the top, very, very important. Last 3 here. Last 2, you're doing great. We need that muscle for golf. Last 1. The more you can get your hips to help you in your golf swing, the better off your back is going to feel. A lot of golfers always complain about low back tightness and QL tightness that builds up, and a lot of times because they're not really utilizing their glutes, and that's a big part of the golf swing. So let's go ahead and find the other side. Remember, my right knee now is in the middle, left foot. I can anchor on the ground. I can pause, find position of my upper body, and now I go for my power muscle right here. I've got my left glute max. Remember, it's not too high. It's just that point. My chest is open. Really feeling that good squeeze back there. It's a great exercise. And most people just go for the flexibility component and miss all the stability component and the strength stuff that we need for golf. Just to that point, and then lower down. We got 5 more. You can do it. I know it's a lot of squeeze back there. Here's 4. Good, here's 3. Last 2, you guys, you got this. Long arms, last one right here. And softly come back and in. Okay, next position, 1 blue spring. We're in a half kneeling. So I'm bringing my left foot forward. My left strap lives in my right hand. I'm choking up near that triangle again, opening out with my left arm. So notice my hips are forward. Yes, I'm going to have this really open position. Look over your left hand, and then rowing here towards your right, squeezing. Hold that squeeze a couple counts, and then back and open. Notice those lats have to be a big part of that rotation, right? As you pull that in, here's 3. Keeping that nice stack position. Here's 4. Looking good. Here's 5. Big breath out as we twist. And 6. Looking so good. Here's 7. And 8. Last 2. Last one right here. Amazing. Slowly come back, open up, take a pause. We're going to transfer to the other side. So loaded rotation. This is a great way to do it. You're balancing on a moving surface. Yes, half kneeling can be a little bit easier than regular tall kneeling, but you're really focusing on your rib cage as well, moving with your body. So here we go. We rotate, we squeeze, and we open. And 2. Beautiful, you guys. Exhaling 3. And really just emphasizing that lat connection. 4. Exhaling 5. Keeping that shin in the front nice and vertical. And moving with that control. Last 3. Squeezing 2 counts, then open. Last 2. And last 1. Beautiful job. Okay, so that's another rotation exercise. Great. So from here, let's think about, for our glute area, to get more of what we need for that golf swing, we need a little internal rotation of that leg. So what I can do is add a little bit more of that through some work with the hips. Take your headrest up to normal height. Let's come onto our side. I'm keeping the same blue spring on, that half spring. I'm bringing my long loop into my free foot on my right. So I just mentioned internal hip rotation. What that means is I'm taking my femur head, I'm rolling it in versus external, which is like that, okay? So first position right here, we want to think about is I've got my knee to knee, my foot faces the sky and almost outward. This feels like a little bit more work, just FYI. I've got my other knee bent on the bed, so I'm in a sideline position. And what I want to do is from that knee position, push up and away, but keep that hip internally rotated, touch down, push out. So glute medius exercise right here. You're pushing out and up with resistance. You're going to feel this little burn right here at the top. Try not to have your foot become parallel. You want that knee to knee like that versus this. So pushing out, you're going to really feel that. 5, a little bit more. Isolated work there. 6, good. Keep going here. 7, exhaling 8, you got it. Exhaling 9, last one. Hold it. Now, I'm going to lower slightly, bring my leg right about here. So I'm over my bottom foot, not completely facing you like that. So now what I want to do is just rotate my knee and my hip. Okay, so my leg bone down, rotate open, rotate down. Yes, I'm spinning my foot in my strap. You can see that. I'm rotating down, I'm rotating open, rotating down. So I'm spinning from my hip socket. That's mobility right there. That's called loaded capsule hip mobility. That's what we're doing. You're gonna feel a light burn on the back of that glute. For 4, you have this. For 3, I know, it's important stuff. 2, and last 1. Okay, so internal press, we did that loaded rotation. Lots of work right there. Now what we're going to do is just go into a couple of circles. So we'll do 5 each direction just to add more of that full range of motion. So here I go. Push back. I lift up. I go forward. 4 up. 3 up. Notice you're moving with that tension. And last one. Not fighting it. Let's go the other way. Push. Move with your springs, guys. 2 and 3. Last 2. You're doing great. Lots of work. And last one right here is 5. Amazing. Gently come back and in. Let's do those movements for the other side, shall we? So come on up. Switching sides. And here we go. We've got our bottom leg bent. I'm going to bring my strap into my top foot. Now, this one is the tricky one. We have that internal hip rotation. I start with my foot in the air, knee to knee. I push out and away. You're going to feel that right here and back in. 2, 3. Keep going. 4. Lots of work. We're pushing out into space. I know it's loaded. It's different. 6. You got this. 7. Here's 8. Notice where your leg is going. Be careful of that leg traveling too far backwards. And last is 10. Woo! Come back and pause. Remember, I bring my leg slightly forward over my bottom foot. Now I spin that femur head. I spin my upper leg bone. I go down and I go up and I go down and up. So really working from the hip joint, not the knee, not just the foot dropping. Woo! It's a toughie. 5. Really feeling that. 6. Woo! 7. There we go. 8. 9. 10. Amazing. Let's pause for a moment. We got 5 circles each direction. Here we go. A little bit of heat here. Pushing down, lift, and 2, and 3, 4. We got one more. Good. Rewind it. We come up, push. 2, 3, 4. Last one. Beautiful job. Now we're feeling that connection towards those hips and the rotators. Nice. Let's go ahead and come on up and pause for a moment. We're going to go ahead and grab our box from here. To set up with our box, let's go ahead and attach 2 more full springs. And that's just 2 reds and a blue that should secure what we have on our reformer. Flatten your headrest. And we're going to need to bring our bar all the way down. So lift up, drop it down. Now with our box, we're going to connect the box into a short box position up against my shoulder blocks here. Just so you guys are aware that if you are taller, you can always, on most reformers, you can go like that and place your box a little bit further away in case you need more space. But I'm pretty petite, so I'm going to be placing my box right here. Okay, so side lying position. We were doing a lot of work opening up the ribs, opening up with twisting, and then loading, and then also using a lot of stability so far. Now what we're going to do is put all of that to the challenge. The first part is the stretch. The last 2 parts are going to be more stability and rotation. So first position, I'm pushing up into my safety strap with my free foot. My hand comes to my headrest. I reach over for my stretch portion. So we want to enhance this length in the top arm that connects all the way down to the ribs into our hip. I reach up and over it. I'm going all the way across my reformer to my other side. Now if you want to join with your other hand, stay there and breathe. Good. Now that hand that just reached over to the other side, I'm going to frame it by holding both ends and then allowing my body to sink down a little bit more. Great. Now from here, we're going to come out of our stretch and into the rotation portion. So I'm going to come back up from this position, make sure I am anchored with my foot. I feel nice and secure. I'm going to reach my arms out to letter T. I'm reaching to the end of my reformer. I'm going to rotate, face the end, reach for the end. I'm loading my oblique like crazy. I'm opening back up and I'm coming back, okay? So it's a little hinge, reach and swing your arm, hold it, come back and come up. You also feel a little bit of QL low back, which is normal. We want that. It's all connected. We're strengthening that area. Last 2. Last one right here. Beautiful. Come back and just take a pause. Notice this little juncture is getting stronger, right? We have that hip and rib cage area getting more connected, which we need. Now for the rotation portion, we're going to be rotating down to face this headrest and rotating back to face you. So I begin here, my hands are behind my head, I rotate down, I'm not dipping, I'm just rotating, I'm spinning. Here's 2. I'm strengthening that side body. 3. And 4. You got this. And 5. Good. Slowly come back and just take a pause right here. Deep breath in. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. First, we go for our stretch. Reach over all the way to the other panel. Join the other hand if you'd like. Deep breath here as you hold your stretch. Gently hold both panels as you reach towards the ground here with your body. Get a really good stretch across that low back. Great. Gently come back up. Now we're going to organize to do that stability exercise. So I have my foot anchored. I'm out, I'm hinging, I'm reaching for that tower. I reach around. I come back to letter T and I come up. And again. Feels really good on that low back. We're making it stronger, which you need for golf. Woo! Here's 4. Beautiful, guys. You got this. Let's do one more together. We're slowly reaching around, holding, then opening, and then back up. Take a moment here, pause if you need to. And now we're going to do that little bit of a hover and rotate towards the ground. So here we go. Hands behind head. I'm right here. Rotate and open. Strengthening that side. Breathing as you go. Last 2. Last 1. Amazing. Come on back and pause. So we're going to face forward for a moment. Just anchor your feet for a second. Reach to the top. Take a deep breath in. And release back down. Good. So let's go ahead and do those 2 movements again, one more time. And we'll save the stretch for the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the stability and then the rotation. Reach to the end of the tower, rotate, hold, open, back. Again, 2, reach, back. We're doing 6 of these, guys. Reach, back. Last 3. Notice what you're working here across that side for 2. And last 1. Whew. Take a moment here, pause. Notice all this getting really strong, which you need for your golf swing. Now we do the rotation. So here we go. Hands behind our head. Just shimmy down like that. And center. 2. Big breath as we go. And we're spinning, rib cage moves with us. Breathing, last 1. Whew. Let's go into our stretch from here. Reach overhead. You can grab both panels if you'd like. Really melt into it. Breathing and holding. Deep breath here. Beautiful. Slowly come up. Let's go to the other side. And here we go. Let's get anchored. Letter T. Hold it. Reach and pause. Come around. Back up. You got this. I know this is a toughie, but you know you're going to get stronger. Take some practice. You got this. Last 3. Safety strap is anchored. 2. Holding, opening up. One more time. I know it's a small movement. And pause. Good. Take a moment here. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Good. And now we go back into that little spin. Here we go. And it's a spin, loaded. Breathing as we go. Rib cage moves with you. We got it. Last 2. And finally, last one. Great. Now we go into our big stretch. Reach the panels, take a few deep breaths here, let everything go. Big breath in, full breath out. And again, big breath in and full breath out. Great. Slowly rebuild your spine. Let's go ahead and come off to the side. We're going to spin our box long style. So go ahead and make it long. Good. We're going to remove our red and blue, which leaves us with one red, one full spring. Bring the bar up to normal height. Now what you can do is stand here in line with your box, and then you're just going to take your body into this lean into the bar, and our hands are on the corners. I'm going to reach the box forward right here, just like a downward facing dog. I'm in this extended position, my spine, a little bit of traction provided by the box and the spring. Big exhale to scoop and round. Inhale to extend. Exhale, scoop and round. Inhale to extend. Notice that beautiful release in your low back after doing those exercises. Feels amazing. For 4. For 3. And 2. And finally, last one. And slowly come in all the way. Very nice. Reach up, full breath in, and release. Thanks so much for joining me for today's workout, focusing on the beginner golfer. Hope you guys enjoyed the stability, rotational, and glute exercises we did to help you with your golf game. If you guys have questions or comments, drop them in the box below. I'm always taking requests. And if you guys are looking for more props or equipment for your home studio, or maybe you are a Pilates studio owner and you need to make some bigger purchases, I do have the link in the description below of how to get a discount through Balanced Body, as well as just you can give them a call, use my full name for a bigger discount. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.